Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas was absent yesterday from the Supreme Court. By itself, maybe it wouldn't be a big story, but nobody knows why. It was a so-called no call, no show. We don't know why he wasn't there. And of course, given the political importance of Clarence Thomas on the court, given the controversy surrounding Thomas recently, and given Thomas's age, 75 years old, we just don't know why he was missing. Is it the flu? Is it COVID? Is it some kind of serious health issue? Or is it something unrelated to health? All raising many, many questions. Justice Thomas missed Supreme Court session Monday with no explanation, says The Hill. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas was absent from the court. Thomas, 75, was also not participating remotely in arguments, as justices sometimes do when they are ill or otherwise can't be there in person. Chief Justice John Roberts announced Thomas's absence, saying that his colleague would still participate in the day's cases based on briefs and transcripts. The court sometimes, but not always, will say when a justice is out sick. Thomas was hospitalized 2 years ago with an infection, causing him to miss several court sessions. He took part in the cases then too. He is the longest serving of the current justices, joining the Supreme Court in 1991. A CNN article, similarly, very little as far as detail goes. So we just don't really know much about this right now. I don't want to start thinking ahead in this way, but when the Supreme Court nomination process has been politicized to the degree that it has, I think it's important to mention that under normal circumstances, if something were to afflict Clarence Thomas such that he resigned or passed away during these last 7 months of Joe Biden's term, we don't know if it's the end of his presidency. That'll depend on the results in November. We know that if Joe Biden were to nominate a Supreme Court justice right now, if Republicans controlled the Senate, they would be saying, we're not even going to hold hearings. Now, Republicans happen not to control the Senate at this point in time. And so more than likely, Democrats would be able to hold hearings for a nomination put forward by Joe Biden in the last 7 months of his term. But it is conceivable that Republicans could prevent the confirmation of that nominee. So this is a game Republicans have been playing for a long time. They did it with Merrick Garland in the last year of Barack Obama's presidency, where they came up with this thing where they say, you know, when it's the final year of a presidential term or of a presidency, we really need the voters to have a say before we would consider replacing someone on the Supreme Court. It's complete and total BS. As you know, presidents are elected for a 4-year term. It's not you get to do stuff during 3 years, but during year 4, we have to wait for the next president. So we don't know what's going on with Clarence Thomas as of yet. We do know that if it were up to Republicans, if there were to be a vacancy right now with 7 months, 6.5 months left until the presidential election, Republicans would do everything they can to prevent that choice from being confirmed. It would be particularly influential right now because Joe Biden would, of course, choose to replace Justice Clarence Thomas, who's a conservative justice, with a liberal or left-wing justice. And so it would change the balance of the court. It would still be a right-leaning court because it is so right-leaning at this point in time, but it would at least push us one justice closer back into balance from where it has gone, which is extraordinarily extreme. So all this is speculative. We learned of Thomas's absence yesterday. As of this moment, when we're recording today's program, there is no additional information as to why he is missing. Maybe by tomorrow we will know more. Let's take a quick break. We will be discussing Donald Trump's first day of his first of 4 criminal trials. He fell asleep. He fell asleep in court by numerous reports. Yeah. Quick break. The new website is live. Check it out at davidpakman.com. People are saying it's one of the most beautiful websites they've seen. And then the show will continue. It's important to me that any supplement I take is of the highest quality and freshness, and that's why I've been turning to AG1 for years. Unlike other vitamin brands, AG1 conducts relentless testing for purity and potency. It's tested for 950 contaminants and banned substances, while the industry standard is usually to test for only 10. AG1 is NSF certified for sport, one of the most rigorous independent quality and safety certifications out there. And the whole reason I drink AG1 is it just is simple. It simplifies everything. It's a scoop a day. I get my vitamins and my minerals, and that's all I need. And the probiotics in AG1 are something I'm particularly glad is there. So AG1 just replaces the vitamin bottles, the digestive aids, all of the things that you might otherwise be taking individually. It's quicker, it's more cost effective than buying everything individually. You can go to drinkag1.com/Pacman to get a free year supply of vitamin D and K, plus 5 free AG1 travel packs. The link is down below.